You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
This show has been brought to you by SacredApparel.net. The homie Twink and the crew over there are always coming up with the latest fashions. The tees, the hoodies, and the hats. Right now, they got a store-wide sale going on. Everything 20% off. This would be a great time to pick up a hoodie. Everything 40% off. Regular price $40, now they $25 a hoodie. And the dope thing that I like about Sacred Apparel, they got tees for the big homies. So go check them out, sacredapparel.net, a clothing store for the ladies and gentlemen that choose to live sacred. You dig?
Yo, what's good? This is your boy Young Joshua, and right now, you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Marv. Keep it locked.
Are you a producer or artist that is lacking confidence in your music? Well, now you can get your music critiqued by an industry vet. The Amazing Beat Critique by producer vet, The Amazing SB. Get your one-on-one video consultation via Skype or FaceTime. Submit 3 beats or 3 songs, and he will provide feedback and any questions that you may have pertaining to your music or the industry. So contact The Amazing SB today at amazingbeatcritique@gmail.com. Again, that's amazingbeatcritique@gmail.com. Contact him and book your session today.
Yo, this your man K-Drama, and you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Mama Beats, baby, yeah.
Are you looking for those heavy trap bangers? Then you definitely need to holler at Rock House Music, specialized and known for those bending 808s. You may have heard his recent work on K-Drama's The 8 album. So if that's the sound you're going for, holler at my man Anthony over at Rock House Music. You can check out his beats on SoundCloud at www.soundcloud.com/IamRockhouse. Again, that's www.soundcloud.com/IamRockhouse. Rock House Music, home of the bending 808s. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you working on a project and you're looking for your next banger? Well, check out the team over at SoundHbeats.com. Looking for a variety of production? Well, the homie Ray and the crew over there can take care of all of your musical needs. They got exclusives, leases, and they got a clearance sale over there. Are you an artist on a budget? Well, now they are offering bulk discount prices on their lease beats. So what you waiting on? Head on over to SoundHbeats.com and pick up your banger today. Christian music, all heart, SoundHbeats.com.
Hey yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Swift, aka Chef Boyard Swift, aka Dr. Swigglesworth. You are now listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my man Marv from Mo Beats, you know what I'm saying? If you listening to any other podcast, you're slacking. Producers, step your game up by learning from the best. You dig? Holla at your boy. Peace.
Yo, 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 yo. Yo, what up? What up, what up, what up, what up? This is your boy Marv from Mo Beats, and you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff, you dig? How y'all doing today, man? I am good. It's raining outside, a whole bunch of rain outside, man. It's been crazy, man. Normally Texas has a serious drought going on, but man, we have been getting tremendously buku rain. We've been getting buku rain, man. We was in a drought for the last 4-5 years, probably longer than that, but we have definitely made up for all of the drought, man. It's been raining like crazy. But hey, man, praise God for the rain, the sun, and all of it. I'm just glad to be alive to see it, man. But anyway, man, you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, man. We got a great show popping off today. I will be talking to my little brother, my little homie. And when I say little brother, this dude is my little homie and brother for real. My guy, Justen Williams, he's going to be chiming in later on today. And we're going to just talk about his whole journey on Using Reasons. I know you guys, if you tuned in last week, you heard me talk about it a little bit last week, man. This guy here, he's a Propellerhead branding ambassador. And man, we're gonna just talk about his journey on how he started out with the software to where he is now, man. And I'm telling you, you you will be amazed on just, how persistence and, how, God's perfect timing, would blow your mind, man. I mean, like, this dude is doing some big things and stuff, man. I don't even want to spoil it for you. I'm going to let him tell you his story. But we're going to have him coming up in a little bit. But I'm going to start off with the scripture. And the scripture is coming from Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. That's Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. And it reads, "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I'm in, therewith to be content." Verse 12, "I know both how to be abased and how to be abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed to both be full and to be hungry, both to abound and suffer need." Verse 13 says, "I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me." And man, being content, even talking about it from a producer standpoint, that word content is easy to, and it's easy, and we do it all the time. If you just want to be honest with yourself, man, we have a tendency to kind of gauge our ventures or our success to others. You know what I'm saying? I've been guilty of doing it myself. You know what I'm saying? Just gauging my, where I'm at as a producer, with my colleagues and the things that they're doing, and, doing big and better things, I think, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I find myself, complaining. I have found myself complaining, you know what I'm saying? And, just not being grateful where God has me. Paul said that he learned how to be abased, and to be abound. He knew how to he knew how to be full and knew how to suffer need. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is you have to be grateful where God has you at, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And the truth be, and just to be truthful, ain't nothing gonna happen until it's time for him to happen, for him to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's the killer part. You know what I'm saying? We start looking at dudes and we start looking at other producers and we get discouraged and we be feeling like, man, I just got to do it. I got to grind. And don't get me wrong, the grind is necessary, but man, you got to be content while you in the grind. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I have been learning, and what has been doing is been having me in this grateful place where I'm at as a producer, exploring my own lane, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to do things that God ain't opened up the door, you know what I'm saying? And with me being content where I'm at, I'm starting to see where he's starting to open up certain things and stuff. So man, just something that we should take heed to, man. Like I say, being content, you know what I'm saying? That's a hard thing, but we have to learn how to do that. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to give thanks, you know what I'm saying? And be grateful for right where you're at. And if you can do that, man, you'll start to see things start to pop off for you, man. So that's just a word for today, man. It's an encouraging word, something that I try to remind myself of all the time, because your mind is always going. And as artists, we always feel like we can be doing better. And we can be doing better. But, man, be content. Grind where you at. Grind right where you at. Be content and watch God do his thing, man. And that's the scripture, man, for today. Philippians chapter 4. I was about to say chapter 14. Chapter 4, verses 11 through 13, man. So, yeah, man, we got a good show coming up. I'm going to have my boy Justen on the show. We're going to get it in. His story is it's so encouraging, and it's really close to my heart because I seen this dude, you know what I'm saying? I literally seen this dude, go from one place to one place. And we're going to talk about it. You'll hear it in the story. It coming up in a few minutes. You listen to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast. I know there's been a time change. We went from 2 to 4, so I appreciate you guys for chiming in. I know you was probably wondering, where is the show? The new time is at 4 p.m. every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Central Time. So tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell everybody that we got a new time for the podcast. It's 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right? And you've been listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast. This podcast has been brought to you by SacredApparel.com. Twink and the crew over there, they keep coming out with this new gear. I'm going to have to hit him up so he can re-up me some tees and stuff. So, but yeah, go check him out, SacredApparel.net. And you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You are listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
Yes, sir. You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. I am your boy, Marv from Beats.com. No, that's my website. I'm doing a commercial for the website. I am your boy, Marv. And I'm hanging with you guys. I'm chilling, feeling real good, man. Just want to send some shots out. Well, yeah, I want to send some shots out to all the producers that made that actually placed on Eshawn's new album, man. I want to shout out Ratley Raw, my homeboy Jay Roden, Dre Knows, One Tell, and KAG. Man, I am so glad and so happy for these dudes, man, to make that milestone, to accomplish something that great. Eshawnd is one of my favorite artists, and I'm so glad for the young boys that are really getting it in. That's something that I'm going to be paying attention and doing all the time, man. Sending shout out to these producers that are making these placements and stuff, man. So maybe you can hit a name, and then you can go search these guys up on their social media. Again, shout out to Radley Raw, my homeboy Jay Rodan. I interviewed Jay Rod over on morephromobese.com. Actually, we interviewed Dre Knows as well. One Tell as well. KAG. We interviewed all these guys over at morephromobese.com. So yeah, if you get a chance, you want to know about these guys a little more, you can go check out their interviews over at Mar for Mo Beats. That's MAR number 4 MOBEATS.com. Morephromobese.com. Yeah. In producer news, man, Kanye West studio got broken in. About $20,000 worth of equipment was stolen. Whew. $20,000 worth of equipment. I could just imagine, what was taken. Definitely, I definitely believe that there was a laptop. Actually, TMZ News said they believe it was an inside deal, and it was a laptop that was stolen. So, hopefully, man, Kanye can, recover his stuff. But, $20,000 worth of equipment, man. I mean, what would you do in a case like that? I ain't got $20,000 worth of equipment, but, the equipment that I do have, it's a nice chunk of change to come up with if something was to happen, God forbid. It raised a question. Man, you should have insurance on your stuff. I think that after reading that article, I definitely think I'm gonna be looking into doing like some insurance on my equipment, man, because this is my livelihood. What I'm saying, making beats definitely pays the bills, help pay the bills and stuff. So, it's easy for me to say Kanye got it, what I'm saying? But, we don't know the depths of what was actually what was stolen, what I'm saying? It might have been music that he was working on, may have been beats that he was producing for people and stuff. So, I don't know, man. Hopefully he'll be able to get his stuff, man. But I guess that's just a part of the music biz, that's a possibility that can happen, So hopefully that brother will be able to retrieve his stuff. In other producer news, man, I am so happy about this. The production team, Cobra's music group, newest member to their team, Juice Bangers. He's going to be producing the Rapzilla Freshman 16 LP. That is big. That is a big deal, man. Shouts out to the homie Juice Banger. Me and his uncle, Josh Howard, man, we go back for a minute. We go back a long time. And it was just so crazy when I read Juice's interview on Rapzilla. He mentioned his uncle, and I'm like, hold on. I used to produce for his uncle. So at that time when I was producing for his uncle, Josh had to be maybe about 13, 14. That's how long me and his uncle been knowing each other. But now he's 19, I want to say. He's 19 years old, man. He's the newest team member over at Cobra Music Group. Shout out to my homeboy Joseph Prezzolani and Dirty Rice. That's their production company, man. And if you haven't heard of these guys, if it don't ring a bell, Joseph and Cobra have produced a lot of stuff for Lecrae, Trip Lee, the whole Reach family. So shouts out to my homeboy Juice Bangers, man, for on that. That's definitely a come up. He's producing the entire Rapzilla Freshman's 2016 LP. So that's what's going on in producer news. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to have my boy Justen on the line, and we're going to get into this interview. You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
Hey, yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Swift, a.k.a. Chef Boyard Swift, a.k.a. Dr. Swigglesworth. You are now listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my man Marv from Mo Beats, you know what I'm saying? If you listening to any other podcast, you're slacking. Producers, step your game up by learning from the best. You dig? Holla at your boy. Peace.
Are you working on a project and you're looking for your next banger? Well, check out the team over at SoundHbeats.com. Looking for a variety of production? Well, the homie Ray and the crew over there can take care of all of your musical needs. They got exclusives, leases, and they got a clearance sale over there. Are you an artist on a budget? Well, now they are offering bulk discount prices on their lease beats. So what you waiting on? Head on over to SoundHbeats.com and pick up your banger today. Christian music, all heart. SoundHbeats.com.
Yo, this is the amazing SB, and you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Marv. Make sure you're tuned in to theamazingsb.com.
Are you a producer or artist that is lacking confidence in your music? Well, now you can get your music critiqued by our industry vet. The Amazing Beat Critique by producer vet, The Amazing SB. Get your one-on-one video consultation via Skype or FaceTime. Submit 3 beats or 3 songs, and he will provide feedback and any questions that you may have pertaining to your music or the industry. So contact The Amazing SB today at amazingbeatcritique@gmail.com. Again, that's amazingbeatcritique@gmail.com. Contact him and book your session today.
You are listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
Yes, sir. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast. I am your boy, Marv from Mo Beats. How y'all doing? And I got my guy, a good friend of mine, been knowing him for some years, my homeboy. Let's welcome him to the show, my guy, Justen Williams. What up, Doc?
What's up, brother?
I'm well, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed.
I heard that, man. I see you've been real busy these days, so I'm glad you took some time out with me so we can get this interview going, man. You been good? How's the wife?
Oh, man, the wife is wonderful, bro. You always make time for family, so I'm always happy when you and I can have a conversation. So I appreciate you even having me on.
No doubt, man. Before we get into this, man, let's just let the people know who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it.
Cool. So for everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Justen Williams. I am from the great state of Louisiana, the greatest city from New Orleans. I'm a music producer, a Propellerhead brand ambassador. Most recently, I've found some new success with producing the viral song for D1, Sally Maybach.
Right.
Outside of that, I've worked with Courtney Hart, NFL Films, HBO, Ford Motor Company. Got some pretty cool things lined up in the next couple months that I can't quite talk about yet, but
right.
God is awesome, man. I will say that.
No doubt, man. I mean, it's such a blessing to see you from the beginning to where you are now, bro. So I am glad to know
you were literally there from the beginning. Like I met you 6 months in learning how to make beats.
Yeah,
we
man.
were sitting in that Pontiac G6 rental, and I was playing beats off my iPod.
That's right, bro. That's right, man. How long have you been producing, bro?
I will actually make 10 years in August.
Wow, 10 years. That's something how time fly, huh?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Man, 10 years. It seemed like it was just like literally yesterday, man. You know, I always talk about you, bro. Actually, I was talking to you about to Mike Miser from I Stand It. And we was just talking.
Yeah, Mike is my guy, man.
Yeah, man. He spoke real highly of you. Highly of you, man. He actually was said he'd been trying to work some things out with Propellerhead to get you to come down. And I always tell him, I said, man, it brings so much joy to my heart to see you how God has elevated you, man, from, you know what I'm saying, being a student of a software to being like a pro at the software, man. And, you know, as we, and that's, I guess that's a good segue in going into what I want to talk about, man. How did you get started with Reasons? How did it fall in your lap? How did this become like your favorite program, your favorite choice of weapon to use for production?
It was like right after Katrina. I had just graduated from high school.
Right.
And my cousin, who's a DJ and had like dabbled in producing for a bunch of years, he sold me his MPC because that was something that I thought I wanted to get into at the time. And with an MPC, like there was other things that I needed that I didn't have access to, so I wound up flipping that. And my same cousin introduced me to Reason, and he had a copy of it that he let me put on my computer too. And man, my first computer was so bad. Like the USB drives didn't work, so I had to get like an external port. It was terrible.
Yeah,
man.
I think we all started out with a terrible computer when we first started out. But anyway.
Yeah, it was horrible, man. It got to one point like where, and no exaggeration, like this is when I knew I needed to start investing in myself, man. Like my computer would start smoking, and like my dorm room would smell like bacon for no reason. And like it's kind of hard to explain that, like why your room smell like bacon, and I didn't even have a microwave.
Right.
You know, it was kind of weird, but man, when my cousin introduced me to that, like it was it for me. I spent countless hours making the worst beat you would have ever heard in your life, dude. I promise you. But I was hooked. Like, it was something about it. Like, it was bad, but I knew I could be better. So it just kept me inspired to just always want to improve. And whatever I heard in my head, it would never come out. Like, it would never be that way audible when it came over the speakers. So, like, there was this burning desire to always want to get better. And it's crazy because that still is like inside of me now.
Right.
You know, a lot of people will look at the success I've had thus far and feel like, you know, I'm really doing it. And I was having a conversation with Jay Rose earlier today, and I never feel like I'm doing enough, man. And
Right.
I think that's going to be the thing that separates the good from the great. Because there's a lot of talented people who can make beats and great musicians and everything else, but like, there's a lot of good people. I'm going for great.
Right. Man, yeah, shout out to Jay Rose, man. I had a good time with him over the weekend at the I Stand the B-Cap Dallas. Actually, I had some stuff mailed to his crib, and he called me. I called him that morning. I was like, yo, did it come in the mail? He was like, nah, man, but you can go pick it up at my house. But I'm going to need you to pull my garbage can from off the curb when you go to the crib. So I was like, it's garbage, man. And I had to go pick up a T-shirt at the same time, man. It was just funny. But shout out to Jay Rose, man. If you haven't picked up his book, These Beats Ain't Free, you can go pick it up at all your online media digital bookstores and at the bookstores anyway. But anyway, man, so your cousin introduced you to Reasons. When you first started out, your beats were poo. In the midst of that, what was the drive that just kept you going? I mean, I know you said, man, even you having a conversation with Jay Rose saying that, man, you know, you want to be great, but what was it deep down? Was it like, I wasn't gonna just settle for this mediocre beats, or was this kind of like you knew what you wanted to do once you started to figuring this program out?
I guess it was a combination of both of them, man. Later on, I found this quote from this guy, this cat named Ira Glass, and it, like, just to summarize it, it pretty much says, like, at the beginning, nobody tells you like how bad it is, and like you have this idea for your stuff, for what you want the end product to be, and you have all these ambitions and aspirations of what you're striving for, and you hit these creative hurdles, and for me, like, I knew that's just what they were. It's just hurdles. Like, it's not permanent.
Right.
And I'm a really big basketball fan, and like, I equate what I do to sports. So, like, you know, in the off season, a lot of these cats train extra hard so they can be better for the next season.
Right.
And that's exactly like what I apply to my music. Like, in my off time, I'm working. Either I'm reading or I'm practicing techniques with mixing.
Right.
Or like really, I became a student of reason. Like
Yes.
I wanted to know the inner workings of it because I feel like that's an extension of me. Like before I'm a producer, I'm a musician. Like I play drums and I picked up piano. So in order to get better at either one of those things, you have to practice your craft.
Right.
And it's the same thing with producing. Like, but it's a much larger scale because not only do you have to practice like drum programming or chord progressions, you got to practice mixing, you got to practice arranging.
Exactly.
And like you actually have to practice producing.
Right.
So,
yeah.
The internet is an infinite amount of information, and there's so much information that's specifically catered towards the electronic musician.
Right.
And that's who we are. So,
right.
Like, I would be remiss as a producer and as an entrepreneur if I didn't do what I felt was necessary in order for me to improve.
Right.
And, like, that's how I feel now. That's why I always say I never feel like I'm doing enough because there's always this information out there. I can always do something to make me better. And that's anybody who knows me, that's one of the things that I live by. I used to have this really bad inferiority complex when I would meet other producers who were further along than I thought I was or I thought I should be or knew more techniques than I did. And I used to always compare myself to them. And, like, when you do that, you lose from the jump. Like, you automatically lose it. So one of the things I live by now is, like, I don't compete to be better than the next person. I compete to be better than the person I was the day before.
Right. And man, and you know, and even what you're saying, man, just practicing and being a student of reasons, and I can definitely vouch for that, man, because when we first connected, man, it was like it was like, man, you was sucking up you was like a sponge. You was like soaking up everything. And, you know, and I think in the midst, that was something that you just said, that you was kind of inferior of producers that knew more than you, man. You know, I guess I never picked up on that because I think we, at the same time, we built a genuine relationship. Like, you had became my little brother, so I just always looked at you as somebody that's he's going to take all this, he's going to take this knowledge, he's going to figure this machine out, and he's going to be great in the future. And I had always said that, not knowing that was going to be your path, bro. I'm talking about literally. I can remember because we used to stay on the phone hours, and I always would get off
hop on Skype and all that.
Hop on the Skype and everything, and I used to always say, man, this dude Justen, he gonna do something. This is what I said. I said, Justen is gonna be to a point where I'm gonna have to come and learn stuff from him. And boy, and as God was my witness, once I seen the tables turn, all of the stuff that you have begun to do, and then you start doing these videos, and you was doing stuff in Propellerhead that I didn't even know how to do. I was calling you, asking you how to do stuff.
Bro, I will never forget the first time you called me. I thought you and asked me a question. I thought you was playing.
No.
And I was like, the irony behind this is so crazy because, like, I mean, we at a point now, like, blood wouldn't make me any closer. So, like, it's crazy for you to see that many years ago, and you say one day you're gonna have to come to me, and that's just crazy, man.
Right. And you know what? And it felt so, and it felt good, and it felt good to me to know that, you know, I guess maybe the little few seeds that I did sow into you, man, you know, it just turned around, dog. And I always,
man, it was more than a little. Like, you always poured into me, and like I still apply a lot of that stuff you told me today,
man.
And crazy enough, in my reason template, like, I have, you can set like favorites up on the side of things you can go to,
right?
And there's this battle cat kick that you always used to use. I still use that to this day to let my time.
I still use that battle. I think it's that thug kick.
Yeah. Yep, that's it right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. And you know, and bro, you're one of those conversations that I always talk about. And it don't even be about, man, that's my little man, I started him out. I'm always boasting on you from the aspect of, man, this dude is rocking with Propellerheads like he's literally working for these dudes. And I guess, and with that being said, let's speed it up. Now you became you became dope with Propellerhead. What compelled you to start doing these videos? And how and was it your motive to get their attention, or what was your motive? What was your thought when you started doing the videos? And then how did Propellerhead catch on to what you was doing?
It was the whole thing was thought out, man. It was the process. Like outside of being a musician, like I got a degree with a concentration in business.
Right.
So like I'm big on branding and everything else. And I studied, like I told you before. So I used to watch tutorials on YouTube and read these forums all the time. And at one point in time, all of Propellerhead's media-based information that they would put out, it was on house and dubstep and techno and drum and bass.
Right.
And like I'm using it in this completely unconventional way according to them. And for a while I looked at it, I was like, man, I don't have no help out there, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like a light bulb just went off one day. And I was like, I could be the help. Like the help, I know I'm not the only person dealing with this issue.
Right.
So like as I started figuring things out and diving in deeper, because a lot of those same principles that people would apply in dubstep and drum and bass and house, like if you manipulate it, like you can do it in hip hop and urban music as well.
Right.
So like I started taking all those techniques, and one of my homeboys had just started this film company, and I talked to him, and I was like, man, I think I want to try to get endorsed by Propellerhead. And I was like, I really feel like I'm doing something with my music that they haven't been able to touch on as a company yet. And I was like, I really want to shoot this video of me making this song for this artist I work with.
Uh-huh.
It's urban, but it's pop, so it would appeal to a lot of people. I think we should make that happen, and I'm going to find a way to get in touch with him.
Right.
So he was like, all right, cool. So he came to my parents' house. I was still living at home and everything. We shot the video, and we shot it on a Friday and dropped it that Monday. Put it up that Monday. I promise you on everything. 30 minutes after I put it up, and I used the hashtags on Twitter. I launched my website, all of that at once. And a guy who was the director of artist relations at the time for the company, I tagged him in one of my posts. 30 minutes after that, he followed me back, direct messaged me, and he was like, yo, man, and literally, I still have the message saved. He was like, yo, man, you're doing something that we haven't been able to touch on yet. I would love to talk to you more about how we can help each other.
Wow.
And that's how the relationship started.
Wow, that's crazy, dog. And that just sounded like that was just a whole bunch of persistence.
That's all that it was, man.
Right. And I think that's what a lot of producers fail to realize. You know what I'm saying? It takes persistence in what you're doing. You know, there a lot of things that I've been doing as of lately, man. It's just been taking a lot of persistence. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens as you continue to grind it out, eventually people will say, hold on. They will step back and be like, hold on. Let me check this dude out. Just like that artist development guy said, hold on. This brother's doing something with this program that hasn't been done yet, and it's a benefit to the program. You know what I'm saying? So hey, bro, I take my hands off to you just for your persistence with even launch, and then you had everything timed and calculated, like you said. You launched the site, launched the video, hashtagged them. Everything was just like boom, 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 man. And it's like and you know, and then what happens, man? God opened up the door just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, man, it was incredible. I definitely can't take any credit for it, other than doing my part. But I know for a fact that God gave me the vision, and I just feel like what Propellerhead does as a company is kind of what I do as a producer. Like, I pride myself on separating myself from the pack.
Right.
And Reason has a very unconventional way of doing things, and I love that because it makes the most sense to me in my thought process, and I just think it's a really dope partnership. And I'm not on staff or anything like that,
Right.
there, but it's a mutually beneficial relationship for myself and for them as a company.
Wow, man, that is so crazy, bro. So now, okay, and I don't want to get into all the details on how the relationship came about, but fast forwarding from meeting the guy, what happened after that? And I guess the reason I want to know, Justin, I want to bring this out to the listeners is because I want them to understand there's a process. And I want them to understand your journey. Because just like you said in the very beginning, people, cats will look at where you're at now, but they don't understand these actual steps that you had to take in the grind. So that's why I guess I maybe, just trying to, find out, wanting the listeners to know what were the steps. And I'm not saying that these are the steps that they take because because that was the path God had set out for you. I think I want the listeners to hear it, just to be able to encourage them to let them know the importance of the persistence. Because when I think of you, dog, when I think of you as an individual, that's the first word that comes up: persistence. Like Justin is persistence. Like you're persistent with these videos, and like. We talking about Propellerhead. We're not even talking about all the other companies that you're linked up with. You know what I'm saying? But let me get back to the point. After that initial convo with him, what happened after that? I mean, what was the next thing that kind of just blew your mind connecting with Propellerheads?
So, I mean, they hooked me up with like all of the rack extensions that Propellerhead has, like as a company, but they put me in contact with all of the other third-party developers, so that was cool. So I've been able to like foster some pretty cool relationships,
right?
With some other guys, and like that, I have a plan for that to open some things up in the future too,
right?
Like with myself as a brand. But like outside of that, not much changed at first. Like they would retweet my videos and that would help my social media following get up.
Right.
But not much changed initially. So I just took it as I took that as, all right, I got free ammunition now. They're giving me all these sounds and I got an outlet.
Right.
So I did exactly what you said. Like I just continued doing as I was prior to this, shooting these videos. And one of the videos I shot, they saw it before I could tag them in it, and it like blew up in the producers world. They used it for their blog. It wound up getting in like electronic magazine or something like that.
Wow.
And that opened up like some teaching opportunities. I got to go speak at a couple universities in Louisiana. And the videos got like 80,000 plus views on my personal YouTube channel.
Sheesh.
And then for like, and I wasn't promoting it like that at all. It just like continued to blossom, and that kind of, I guess, that opened their eyes on like, hey, this guy kind of know what he's talking about,
right?
And like, so that fast forward has allowed me. They involved me in some more things that was actually Propellerhead based, not me shooting things from my YouTube channel. I've done a Reason masterclass for them where one of the content creators for Propellerhead flew from California to New Orleans, and we shot this long thing on like why and how I make beats and Reason, and they used part of that video as their YouTube ad. Like when the video you want to watch, when the commercials come on prior to that,
right?
Like I was a commercial.
Wow.
And like that was that kind of solidified like my stamp on like, hey man, this dude's a really like dope Propellerhead user.
Right.
Which I'll touch on that part in a second.
Okay.
And like I've been able to do that. I partnered with them when they launched their mobile app. And I've been able to do like backing music for a couple of their videos. I provided content for some other videos with like drum patches and drum programming and everything else. So it's just been cool to really develop a relationship with them And then one of the guys there has actually become like one of my very close friends now, and like we work on music together now, like outside of Propellerhead. Like he's my friend outside of the Reason world, which is really cool.
Right,
I definitely cherish like genuine friendships, and it's something that's been able to blossom. It's a byproduct of being persistent with Propellerhead.
Right, man. That is crazy. Look at God. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it, boy?
Won't he do it, kid? Golly, I didn't even know you was like the commercial to the actual video, man.
Man, I'll have to show you like some of these emails I get. Like, hey man, I saw you on the YouTube ad. I love that beat you made. Is it for sale? Like I get that all the time. Like still to this day, and it's crazy. Like I made that beat sitting in my apartment, and like thousands of people have heard it and seen me make the beat now.
Wow, that's crazy, dog. That is so crazy, bro. Man, you know, I want to back up. I want to back up a bit. Let's talk about Reasons, because let me tell you, my first experience with Reasons before I had the courage to actually sit down with it. My first experience with Reason was like, what is this? This mugs looks intimidating. And you know, when I talk to producers, you know, that's always, when I talk to producers and talk about Reasons, you know, that's always like the first response. Like, man, I can't figure out these racks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? What was your first experience with it when you first actually start using the program?
I was super confused, like super confused. But I kind of took that as a challenge. Like I didn't know what I was doing, but I was determined to figure it out.
Right.
I don't know. I've always been like that, where I don't like things to win if it's not me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I worked really hard and started figuring out things piece by piece. And, you know, like I told you, I would read in the forums a lot and watch a lot of videos. And then I just, like, things slowly but surely kind of started making sense. And I up until recently, I haven't had a lot of experience with working in these full-fledged studios with patch bays and routing and all of this. So, like, to me, that's what Reason was. Like, this was giving me that experience.
It was actually teaching you how to patch different things. I've always said that once I got the hang of it, I said, man, this is a learning tool to understand patch band. I get it. I get that.
Yes, and I'm gonna take it a step further because, like, mentally, it helped me too. One of my mentors used to always tell me, and he still says it till this day, when he first realized that this is what I was gonna do, like this was my path. He said, anytime you in the back of your parents' house making beats, you in your dorm room making beats, you're in your apartment making beats, wherever you are, I want you to envision yourself in this $1 million studio and you getting ready to make the best music you ever made in your life. And so for me, like, using Reason and seeing all these patch bays and routing options, like, that made that outlook on my approach to music so much more real for me. So, like, that's another reason. There's a lot of things I like about Reason, but for me, like, visually, that you can't really put a price on that for me. Like, it's inspiring just from an eye point of view.
And you know, it definitely is, bro. You know, even my experience with it, man. You know, once I got the hang of it, and you start just patching different things and getting different sounds and different results, you really fall in love with creating your own patch or your own sound. And then what's crazy about it, you can save that mug and share it with other people. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, and man, you know, I think that's definitely one of those perks and those benefits what reasons, that not only are you making music, but you're actually learning something. And I mean, I would think that was maybe their whole idea about it. You know what I'm saying? Educating people at the same time.
Yeah.
So now over the years, we you had Reasons 3, 4, 5, 6. By the time 4 came, they had Record, which when they added in the
Record didn't come till 5.
Was it 5? Was it 5?
Yeah, man.
Okay, all right. Okay. Record came at 5. Going from 3 to 5. Was you amazed because what happened? It was a totally different look. You know what I'm saying? What was your and I guess the reason I'm saying it is because even now I'm looking at 9. It looks like Reason never seems to amaze. They always amazes me on just what they're doing and what they're adding, and it's just something about when you look at that mixing board, man. It's like, dang, this mug look like it's cold, man. What was your thought coming from like 3 and then going into Record?
It was actually kind of intimidating, man, and
really,
it's crazy because I was definitely, and it in some ways, in the majority of ways, working in Reason, because just to backtrack a little bit, I've tried Logic, I've tried Pro Tools, FL Studio, MPC, Studio One, and all of those things have like equally good parts. And I'm a firm believer now is like you just find what works for you. Because like some of the best records are made in whatever. Like it's not so much the tools more than it is the craftsman. Like that's my whole thing on everything. Because I get a lot of flack because I still use Reason. People tell me I'm kicking the can down the street because it doesn't use VSTs and everything else. And like I feel like if I press the space bar, like your opinion gonna change because the quality of music and the caliber of music I'm making in Reason versus you in Ableton or Logic or whatever you may use, like it's comparable, but it's different. Like Reason gives you a sound, it gives you like different creative outlets and everything else. So, but in saying all that, I've spent the majority of time creating music in Reason. Right. And until 6.0 came out, there was no audio implementation in it. So all I used prior to 6.0 was MIDI. So when 6.0 came out and you could import audio, and like when 7 came out, when the new time stretch algorithm and all of this, dude, I promise on everything. Like working in audio scared the heck out of me.
Really?
Like, I was terrified because I always thought I was going to mess something up or it would never sound the way I wanted to. I didn't understand how time stretching worked because I never really sampled that much because I always was told if you sample something and it get placed, you never going to get paid from it. So I stayed away from all of that stuff.
Yeah, I got
you. until I would say probably until about 3, maybe 4 months ago, I really started working in audio. Like, I would get out of MIDI as fast as I can and work in audio because I learned how much more you can manipulate it versus MIDI.
Right.
And dude, I promise you, my whole production process and approach to producing music has changed.
Wow.
It's so much faster now. So, like, just to see Reason expand from 4 to 5 with the arpeggiator and the, the alligator and pulverizer getting put in there, and then 6 when Record came out, 6.5, and then the 7 with the time stretch thing. Like, all of it, I was terrified of it at the time, but like in my downtime, I would tinker with things and like not knowing it was just preparing me for this now, because one day, I promise you, I just felt like something clicked in place, like it rotated, like the keys started the car. And it just made sense for me from an audio perspective, like we're just working in audio and mixing MIDI with that like you could get ideas out so much faster.
Right.
Because instead of playing this, and this out, if I find this piano loop, I could chop it up and reverse it, pitch it down and manipulate it and process it this way and that way. And before you know it, like I have something that sounds nothing like it did prior to me starting, and that will cause inspiration and make me want to grab this synth bass or play keys on top of this or get these vocal chants, and like it just opens up a whole new way of creative thinking. And I think that's what's so dope about Reason, is that you can do all of this so fast now.
Wow, man. Wow. It's crazy, bro. And you know, they have always strived to make the workflow much easier. Because, you know, in 3, they didn't have everything to the side like they do now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I know, man. Like, it's just small stuff like that. Like, it makes me happy because, I mean, a big gripe with Reason is, for other people, it doesn't bother me anymore.
Right.
Is that you can't use plugins with it. But there's so many refills, and if you think creatively, you can actually use plugins with Reason. Like, I'll have to tell you about that in a whole nother conversation. But like, there's a way you can manipulate and route the audio through Reason. So all the sounds that you want out of Contact,
right,
you can get them right in Reason, and then you just that's what actually made me start manipulating audio, because I really did like some string libraries and everything else from Contact.
Right.
And I couldn't use them standalone with Reason until I figured this out. But like simple things, just like the whole drag and drop thing with the browser being on the side, like that speeds things up so much. And you know, as a full-time, I'm about 90% full-time with music now. I still work a part-time job, but as a full-time entrepreneur, as of now, like my main source of making money as an entrepreneur is producing music. So you want to be able to do this as efficiently and as effectively as possible. So having, like, being familiar in your DAW and knowing the ins and outs of it, and having a DAW that works creatively with you. Because, like, if you have this idea and then you know what you need to get, you can have your favorites organized, and you can just pull that next sound straight onto the sequencer and then start playing in your MIDI. Then you convert the MIDI to audio, and, like, there you go. Like, to me, like, there shouldn't be a reason why you can't finish a beat anymore.
Right. Man, I mean, you know, and it's, hey, bro, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I think after having this conversation, I might want to go open up my Reasons again.
Man, you're gonna be shocked, dude. I'm telling
you. blow the dust off it. That's how long it's been since I used it. And you know what? You know, me. Well, I've been doing a lot of stuff I've been doing a lot of mobile stuff, so I haven't even been doing anything even in my Logic or Cubase or anything. But whenever I'm on my desktop and there's a certain sound that I'm looking for, a real grit sound, I always go to Reasons, because I know if there's one thing for sure, I can manipulate that sound to get, I mean, I can manipulate it on what I want it to sound, man. And you know, yep. I've always loved Reason about that, because you know, it's just a big old, it's a big old sound design engine. You know what I'm saying? You know,
that's exactly. I mean, like, Reason. Now that I have this really cool relationship with the guys over there, like, I start learning things about the software, and like one of the things that they told me, like, when Reason first came out, it didn't even have a sequencer. Like, it was made for sound designing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like, it's made from a sound designer's perspective, and like, I think that's awesome, because you have so many options for creativity.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that, man. And just in saying that, it's like a big sound design engine, man. You know, they got this guy, I mean, they got this producer, shout out to this producer named Greg Savage. He just came out with a drum kit over at Machine Masters called the 16s, and he's a big Reasons user. And I caught an interview that he was doing with my homeboy St. Joe. Shout out to the homie St. Joe from soundsandgear.com.
Oh yeah, that's he St. Joe, a super good guy, man.
Yeah, man. Greg was doing an interview with Joe last week, I want to say, and Greg was just saying how he's been using Reason for a lot of scoring and a lot of, sound designs, because he's heavy into TV placements and stuff, So, again, man, shots out to Reasons for what they're doing with the program, because it's just not a production tool, man. It is a well-rounded software, man. You know what I'm saying?
And man, with these companies really wanting to be a part of this rack extension platform, like they got some pretty heavy hitters. Like there's this company named Heavyocity. They make damage and stuff for contact. Mm-hmm. They just came out with 2 rack extensions for Propellerhead, and they're like strictly geared towards scoring.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like I'm telling you, they could keep sleeping on Reason if they want to. They're gonna wake up one day.
Wow, man, that's crazy, man. So 9 coming out. Have you tasted the goodness of 9 yet?
I have, man.
Is it good, dog?
But I'm gonna say this.
I got to cut the music on this one. Is it that good, bro?
For the people who may not be very musically inclined,
yeah,
your prayers have been answered.
Really?
And for the people who are musically inclined, your workflow about to triple.
Wow. Woo, woo.
And then just with like small things, like they got bounce in place now, to where you could like freeze the MIDI and automatically convert that to audio. And the thing that I am most excited about, man, I use this app on my phone called Music Memos that Apple makes.
Right.
I use that all the time because I'm always like melodies will just pop up in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to lose them, so I record them in my phone. So
right.
Reason 9 has this feature where you can convert audio to MIDI. So I can literally sing them same melodies from my phone into a mic, and it's going to convert it to MIDI.
Oh, wow. That's what's the word I'm looking for? That's on some new innovation type of stuff right there, dog.
Yeah, man, they have this new pitch editor coming out. Like, you familiar with Melodyne?
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that they coming out, and yeah, I'm familiar with Melodyne. I seen that kind of coming out. Wow.
It's similar to that. And with that being implemented in there, there's a pitch algorithm that allows it to detect the pitches from this is what I've gathered from it. So with that, you'll be able to bounce your audio tracks to MIDI that fast. So I could sing or beatbox or whatever, and then it's just so much stuff that you could do. Like you could take that, and then they have this rack extension called what is it called? Polar. So you take that and you throw that on, and it's a pitch shifting rack extension. And this is like free game for the Reason producers. You take that, put it on an audio track, and you can switch the pitches. Like it's a dual pitch shifter, so you can move it like 3 semitones above and 3 semitones below, and now you playing chords with your voice.
Man. Dang, dog. I lost my words, bro.
I'm excited.
I lost my words.
Bro.
I don't even know what else to say no.
I'll say I'll have a bunch of videos coming out. I'll say that.
Man, dog. Man, I tell you what, man, again, bro, I am always excited when I see Reasons coming out with something new. Now, I haven't been over to the site yet, but I wonder, and maybe you can tell me, maybe you can't, but will it be a free upgrade for those that have 8.5?
No. From what I know, because somebody asked me that the other day, I think it's $129. But if you purchase 8 after May 1st or something like that, it's free.
Oh, okay, right. I got you. Well, shucks. For with all they're offering in 9, $129 ain't bad at all.
Nah, man, there's so much stuff in that. It's gonna be like a completely new Reason.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's well worth the $129.
Right. And look, you just happen to be a Reasons ambassador, so you get it for free. You job joker.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? I ain't even mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you, dog. Man, Justin, before we get out of here, man, is there anything else that you want to say to the aspiring producer, man, that's probably been encouraged by your testimony and how you started out, man? What would you tell a producer that's coming up, man? I mean, what would be your word of advice for them?
Find somebody who inspires you. Find the things that you like about that person. Make it your own, and then work every day to just be the best version of you. If I could tell myself that 10 years ago, I guarantee you I'd be so much further than I am now. But I know God has me right here where I am because I can impact people the way I am now. And like the dope thing about being a brand ambassador that has given me an opportunity to teach, man. And I've always said, not to be Reverend Justen right now, but I've always said that I never felt that music was my ministry, but the platform that I would gain from music is where I can really impact the lives of other people. And I see that like coming full circle now. You know, my main goal outside of music is just to like allow people to see God through me. And I'm, just trying to be obedient and like using my platform that I'm gaining from music to showcase, like, you can be a really successful music producer and not have to compromise your integrity. And I think that's like the super dope thing. And I would say that too, like, have something that you could be rooted in and stand on. Like, don't just chase after some dollars. It's like they gonna go away.
Right.
Like, you're gonna have to have something that's more substantial than that.
Man, Jay, man, I've been saying the same thing, and it's funny that you said what you just said. You said that you haven't had to compromise what you believe to do the things that you do, man. That's just like as these last couple of weeks, last month or so, man, some crazy doors that I wasn't even expecting to open. They just, God just popped the mugs open, man, and was so, and again, like you said, what's so crazy about it, man, I did not have to compromise, my morals or my beliefs or, just me being a Christian, to do any of this, man, and, and being able to work with cats in the industry, man, it's been mind blowing, but I am so grateful that I'm grounded and I'm rooted and able to just be who I am, and not having to conform to what to the industry, man. I'm just being me, I love God, and I love making beats, and I like being around producers. So it is a blessing, man, when God puts you in those kind of positions, man. And again, Jay, I am so grateful. I was like, again, man, that was the last thing I told Mike. I said, man, Justen brings so much joy to my heart. Because it's like I done seen my little brother take this mug to another level. And I told him, I said, and my attitude is when he's winning, I'm winning. You dig? So
definitely, man. That's a two-way street.
Yeah, man. So I am so happy, bro, for what God is doing in your life, man. And then you being a young man, tell the people how old are you, bro? So that should give cats motivation too.
Yeah, I'm 29, man. I'll be 30 this year, so I told my wife I got a 5-year plan, so I better hurry up and get on it, man.
Yeah, man, you better handle your business, man. And it's always great to have a dope wife and a supportive wife, because I cannot
express the importance of that. So without Jessica, like, this does not exist.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jazzy Bird.
Yeah. Shout out to Jazzy Bird, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, a lot of people don't know, like, prior to jumping or doing music full time and only working part time, I I had a full-time job at like a Fortune 500 company, man. I had just gotten a promotion. I was the youngest guy in the department.
Right.
I was a recruiter, man. Like, they were telling me by the time I was 30, I'd be well on my way to 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I would never forget this. One day I was sitting in my cubicle with tears running down my face because I was so frustrated because I knew that's not what I wanted to do. Like, I was crying in my cubicle, man, and like, I prayed about it, developed a plan, and before I executed this plan, I talked to my wife. But I had to have something to bring to the table that was substantial instead of just being like, hey, I think I want to do this.
Right,
so, long story short, I told my wife, I was like, babe, I think I want to quit my job. Mind you, we had been married for 3.5 months.
Right.
On our own for the first time. Most people in this situation would have been like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, what's wrong with you? Ain't no way. And Jessica looked me dead in the face, and she was like, let's make it happen. So when this takes off, like, the fact that she believed in me that much and still believes in me even more so now, when this takes off the way I see it taking off in the next year or so, like, she automatically gets first dibs on whatever she wants, man.
Man, shout out to Jessica, man. Shout out to Jazzy Bird for holding it down for the wives, dog. Hey, bro, I'm the same way, bro. Man, I'm telling you, bro, one of my struggles, and I'm gonna just have a transparent moment. You know, I struggle with fear. You know what I'm saying? And and if it doesn't make sense to me, or if it don't look right, you know, I'm not the one to take chances. But man, thank God for my wife being the total opposite of of who I am, man. You know, she be like, man, look, let's do this. Come on, stop being scared, babe. Let's do it. You can do this, man. So, man, you know, I'm always shouting my wife out and, you know, giving her my last or whatever, man, because she's so well worth it, man. Because, you know, from just stepping out to do beats as a full-time gig, you know, ain't no way I could have did it. I would have did it if she wouldn't have been like, man, come on, let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you can't place a value on that.
Man, you can't, dog. You can't, bro. And I got a rider chick with me, bro. And I'm so grateful, man. So, and man, it's great when you can have a spouse, you know what I'm saying, that hold you down like that, man. So yeah, when them 7 figures start rolling in, you better break Jazz off, you dig?
Yeah, man. She get what she want, bro.
Yeah, man.
She get what she want.
Yeah, dog. Just, man, it has been a pleasure talking to you, man. It's always good talking to my little brother, you know what I'm saying? And just,
man, I love you, bro.
I love you too, dog.
Every time we talk.
Yes, sir, man. And I appreciate you stopping into the show, bro.
Yeah, man. Call me when we get off of here, because I want to tell you all this other stuff.
No doubt, no doubt. And you have been listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
Are you looking for those heavy trap bangers? Then you definitely need to holler at Rock House Music, specialized and known for those bending 808s. You may have heard his recent work on K-Drama's The 8 album. So if that's the sound you're going for, holler at my man Anthony over at Rock House Music. You can check out his beats on SoundCloud at www.soundcloud.com/IamRockhouse. Again, that's www.soundcloud.com/IamRockhouse. Rock House Music, home of the bending 808s. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This show has been brought to you by SacredApparel.net. The homie Twink and the crew over there are always coming up with the latest fashions. The tees, the hoodies, and the hats. Right now, they got a store-wide sale going on. Everything 20% off. This would be a great time to pick up a hoodie. Everything 40% off. Regular price $40, now they $25 a hoodie. And the dope thing that I like about Sacred Apparel, they got tees for the big homies. So go check them out, sacredapparel.net, a clothing store for the ladies and gentlemen that choose to live sacred. You dig?
Yo, this is
Surface,
and you're listening to the TheShowLab producer podcast with my homie Marv. Keep it locked.
Are you working on a project and you're looking for your next banger? Well, check out the team over at SoundHbeats.com. Looking for a variety of production? Well, the homie Ray and the crew over there can take care of all of your musical needs. They got exclusives, leases, and they got a clearance sale over there. Are you an artist on a budget? Well, now they are offering bulk discount prices on their lease beats. So what you waiting on? Head on over to SoundHbeats.com and pick up your banger today. Christian music, all heart, SoundHbeats.com.
Yo, this your man K-Drama, and you're listening to the TheShowLab producer podcast with my homie Marv from Beats, baby, yeah.
Yo, you're listening to the TheShowLab producer podcast. I am your boy Marv from Beats, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview from my young homie Justen Williams in the building. Appreciate him checking in with us, man, sitting down talking to us, telling us about his journey, man. It is so amazing to see what is happening in his life, man. God is opening up some crazy doors for him. So I am so proud, man. I'm like a coach, like a coach that's rooting him on, man. Seeing him winning that MVP trophy. But anyway, man, great interview with my guy Justen Williams, man. For those that don't know, and those who may know, I just teamed up with MachineMasters.com. I do product and kit reviews for the homies, AG and Billy Blast over there. Shout out to MachineMasters.com, man. If you're looking for some banging drum kits and drum sounds, go check them out. If this past weekend, they had a crazy sale, man. They had a sale going 40%. 46% off all kits. You know, if you missed it, let me shut the music down. You need to slap yourself if you missed that deal. If you didn't know about it, you need to slap yourself for not following them on their IG. Follow Machine Masters on Instagram. Check them out. MachineMasters.com. Go check them out, man. Go sign up. So many great tutorials on how to use Machine Ableton Live, Machine Renaissance. Hopefully we'll have some Beatmaker 2 tutorials up there. And with that being said, talking about Beatmaker 2, man, just want to send some shouts out to some of the winners. Machine Masters and Beatmaker 2 partnered up a couple of weeks ago, and they gave away the Beatmaker production app, man. I just want to send some shouts out to my guy that's listening all the way from Amsterdam, my homeboy Niffy. Well, a guy, one of the winners. I don't want to say he's my homeboy because I don't know him. I think that's just a hip hop thing, just to be saying homeboy. I think I informed the habit of saying my homeboy. But congratulations to the producer Niffy Official. Technology, Gemini 4D. Now this dude is my homeboy for real. Diamond on the track. I know Diamond. And Audio Flex. They were the 5 IG winners, Instagram winners for the app, and we had 5 YouTube winners. Mr. Shy Boy Born, UNMG Productions, Easy Money Beats, Armand Sheffy, and Nothing But the Funk. Those were our YouTube winners, man. Machine Masters, we'll be getting in contact with you guys soon. If you got any questions, just send them a DM on Instagram, or you can hit me up on Instagram, and I'll direct you guys to the powers that be, and they will get that program to you. So congratulations to you guys for winning that app. One of my favorite weapons of choice when it comes to music production. So get that mug and make some dope beats. Before we get out of here, man, it's something that I was thinking about earlier this week. I know we as beat makers, as producers, our main objective for what we do is to make beats and eventually sell beats and get placements and stuff. But this last month, I have come to realize, and I've always known it, but I think it's becoming more of a reality to me now, that there are other opportunities, to make money with your gift. You know what I'm saying? There are other opportunities. A lot of producers are getting into making drum kits. Shout out to my homeboy Greg Savage. He's a producer, but he makes kits. He does a lot of things in the TV production industry, a lot of stuff in that area. But he's using his gifts, in other ways. You know what I'm saying? Making drum kits. He just came out with a drum kit, the 16s. A whole bunch of one shots for the boom bap producers. There's so many other things that you can do, with making beats. Getting into some TV placements, video games and stuff. Making your own drum kits. There's some things that I'm gonna be getting into soon. I don't want to disclose it because I don't want nobody to take my idea. But man, there's so many other opportunities, and it's just a matter of finding. My homeboy AG was telling me, he said, man, it's just a matter of finding what you're good at. You know what I'm saying, and doing it. Using that and turning it into a resource. Take those resources that you're good at and turn it into a financial situation. So you got to figure it out. I think after just some long nights of thinking, what am I really good at other than making beats? I found some things that I'm going to venture off into, and hopefully, man, it will be another source of income for me and my family. So yeah, man, keep that in mind. Keep an open mind that there's other opportunities as producers besides making beats. Making beats is what we do, but look for other ways and other opportunities to make some change. So yeah, man, just something that I was thinking about, and just said I want to pass that on to you guys that was listening. To hone in, dig deep, pray, ask God to show you, what can I do other than make beats to bring in some finances? It's there. You just got to find it. So figure it out. Before we get out of here, man, I got this thing called Producer Thoughts that I'm going to be doing at the end of the show. I'm starting off today, and my first producer thought is, enjoy your accomplishments, but know that you're not accomplished. Now, you might be saying, Marv, what in the world is that? Enjoy your accomplishments, but know that you're not accomplished. The other day, I was just randomly going, just on YouTube, and I typed in a track that I produced about 8-9 years now. I produced me and my homeboy R Swift. We did this track. We did an Awesome God remix. And when I looked at the views, that mug is over 1 million some odd views. And as a Christian hip hop producer, to me it felt like that was a major accomplishment, man. It brought tears to my eyes to see that a song that I was a part of. Shouts out to my homeboy Swift and my homeboy Levester White for coming together, man. We made a impactful song in the genres. But when I seen him, I was just like, man, wow. I'd have never thought today. But just as much as that was accomplishment, I still realize that I'm not accomplished. You know what I'm saying? And meaning that I still have a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? There's still a lot for me to learn. I believe there's still a lot of things for me to do. You know what I'm saying? In this thing called beat making. I feel if I had to tell you where I think, God is leading me in the future, I think it's to be able to be more of a bigger impact on producers, you know what I'm saying? Helping producers, get placements and stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's just like this burning desire deep down in my heart. So, yes, I have been able to do some nice things in the past and doing some nice things now. But, man, I still feel like I have a long way to go. And I think if you keep, and I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, I think as I keep that mentality, I think there's always a hunger and drive there. Once I get to the point where I think I'm accomplished, then that's when I feel like, I'll fall back and not do, and not have that drive and that motivation. And I'm talking about beat making, but that's with anything, you know what I'm saying? Once you think that you ain't got to a point, that's when things start to be stagnant in your life, man. So, enjoy your accomplishments, but know that you're not accomplished. Let that be some motivation. And that is the producer thought for the day, man. For some reason, man, my tongue twisting is on at an all-time high these days, man. I don't know if because I'm getting old or not. But anyway, man, take that thought, man. Take that thought, marinate on it. Get it down in your spirit. Enjoy your accomplishments, but know that you're not accomplished yet. And that's the producer thought for today. Man, before we get out of here, man, please, please, pretty please, man, for you guys that are listening, man, please like the podcast, share the podcast. Those likes and shares, that lets us know what we're doing. And if it sucks, please tell me that. I have no problem taking constructive criticism. Now, my feelings may be hurt a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to take it all in with stride and try to make it better. So please, man, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, like it, share it, tell your friends, man, tell everybody that who you know, tell everybody you know. What we're doing over here at the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, man. We're just trying to give out this information and do these interviews to be able to intrigue producers, to be able to be motivated to go out and do what they believe that they're supposed to be doing, man. And I have set this time aside just to do it. And I go back and listen to the podcast myself because I want to know the information too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I listened to this Justen interview, 3-4 times before, we did it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, like it, share it, tell your friends, tell your mom and them about the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, man. Let us know how we are doing over here. And until next time, we out of here, man. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. You've been listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You
are listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
Hey, yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Swift, a.k.a. Chef Boyard Swift, a.k.a. Dr. Swigglesworth. You are now listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my man Marv from Mo Beats, you know what I'm saying? If you listening to any other podcast, you're slacking. Producers, step your game up by learning from the best. You dig? Holla at your boy. Peace.
This show is...
Yo, this is the Amazing SB. And you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Marv. Make sure you tuned in to theamazingsb.com.
Yo, what's good? This is your boy Young Joshua, and right now you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Marv. Keep it locked.
Yo, this is
Surface,
and you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Marv. Keep it locked.
Yo, this your man K-Drama, and you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Marv from Beats, baby, yeah.